Hola, hola, y bienvenido a tu clase. Hi, and welcome to your class. So, today we're looking at travel and transportation. El viaje y transportación. Transportación. So, one of the best ways to use your Spanish that you have been working so hard to gain is traveling. Wouldn't you love to go to a Spanish speaking country and use Spanish with all of the natives? So, let's get some vocabulary and the most common helpful phrases. Adelante. Muy bien. Okay, a fun greeting. Buenas. Buenas. This is hello, good morning, good afternoon, or night. Buenas. You're just wishing somebody well. Sometimes females will even say buenas, buenas. It's very lighthearted, very informal to be used among friends. Muy bien. Okay, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's modes of transportation. So, I say you repeat after me. Remember, we need to get our mouth used to how it feels to speak in Spanish. So, I say you repeat. El avión, airplane. El autobús. See that at the end? Bus. In some countries, you will also call it a bus. Depending on what country you're in, vocabulary changes just a little bit in every place. So keep your ears open or look up. In Colombia, what are some of the words that are unique to this country? It's a fun thing to try out and get more vocabulary through. For example, el carro, el coche, or even el auto. Auto is a car. And depending on where you are, which one is most common? None of these are wrong, but depending on the country, which one they will use more. El taxi. El taxi. Taxi. El metro. Subway. El tren. Sounds very similar to train. El tren. Train. Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay. Say it with me. Transportación. Transportación. Transportation. Remember, the T-I-O-N ending in English, when you go over to Spanish, is going to be C-I-O-N. There you go. You just learned about 100 new words. Muy bien. Aeropuerto. Aeropuerto. Airport. Aero, air, puerto, port. Okay, aero isn't like what's around here. That's from a different root. Aire, which is more similar to our air, but that's one way to remember it. Aero, air, puerto does mean port. Terminal de terminal. La parada, a stop, like a bus stop. Estación, station. Muy bien. Okay, as we're going through these, a great way to make sure you're actually absorbing this material is to stop after we have the definitions and make up a scenario where you can use the vocabulary you've just learned in a travel setting. For example, let's go through this and I'll show you how to do it. El boleto, the ticket. If you're an artist, just draw a little doodle next to it. Having more than one visory input is so important to our minds. I think it's visual. I don't know what visory is, but that's okay. See, I make mistakes in English, and that's fine. Muy bien. El boleto is the ticket. So draw a little ticket next to it. The more connections you can make with the vocabulary, the better your mind will grab onto the information. Okay, el despegue. Despegue. Take off. El aterrizaje. Aterrizaje. This right here, aterrizaje, sounds like it has tierra, dirt or ground, in the middle. So, despegue, despegar, to unstick, and aterrizaje, to return to the ground. Is that exactly what it means? No, but that is a way that I remember it. So remember, find little tips and tricks for yourself that help you. There is no wrong answer if it helps you remember. La terminal. La terminal. Gate. El pasaporte. Passport. You gotta love a good cognate. El asiento. Seat. Muy bien. Now, here's what we're gonna do. Using these vocabulary words we have so far, let's make up a sentence. Let's think about our question words. So let's say, ¿dónde está la terminal 2? Mi boleto dice, decir to say, dice, says, mi boleto dice que estoy en el asiento 2C. ¿Me puedes ayudar? Can you help me? So just there, you can have an entire conversation about finding your gate, your ticket, and what seat that you're in, just with these few words. Then, of course, at customs, they're going to ask you, pasaporte, and you're going to hand them your passport. And then you could also ask, ¿a qué hora es el despegue de vuelo, flight 236? Just all of those things just from 6 vocabulary words. Using those, and remember, mix them with words you've already learned. Okay, off my soapbox, let's keep going. Muy bien. El cinturón. El cinturón. Seatbelt. La maleta. Suitcase. Okay, now we're going to jump up here for a second. La mochila. Mochila. Backpack. Muy bien. And el equipaje de mano. Okay, mano means hand. So you can carry it on. Equipaje de mano, carry on. Mochila, where you keep all your mochi in your backpack. And a maleta is their big suitcase. Muy bien. Now let's come down here. Llegada. Llegar means to arrive. So llegada is arrivals. Then you have salida. Salir means to exit or to leave. So a salida is departure. Depending where you are and who you're speaking to, you could have despegue and aterrizaje or llegada and salida. These two are most commonly seen and, in my opinion, a little bit easier to remember. Muy bien. Okay, cultural tip. Every country has a slightly different way of speaking. Look up the slang for the country you're going to visit. Figure out how they say popcorn. For example, I learned Spanish in Bolivia, and they would say pipocas, popcorn, pipocas. Then I came back, And I started hanging out with a lot of people from Mexico. And they say palomitas. Palomitas, pipocas. Same thing, but depending on where you're from, what you think is correct. So have fun. Look up how they say things like straw. Look up straw. It's different, so different, and a lot of really fun words. Muy bien. Okay, now let's switch over more to where you're going to stay. So, la habitación. Habitación. This is your room. This is like a hotel room. You can say mi cuarto, el dormitorio, yes, but habitación is a little bit better for this situation. Muy bien. La llave. La llave. Key. El elevador. Elevator. There's also in other countries words like ascensor. But if you're staying a little bit closer to the United States border, elevador is just fine. And then we've seen this before, but el hotel. Muy bien. Again, pause. Come up with a scenario here. How could you say, can I have a room? How could you say, what room? Is this the key for room 3? And where is the elevator? So, ¿dónde está la habitación 3? ¿Dónde está el elevador? ¿Esa es la llave para la habitación 3? ¿En puedo tener una habitación para una noche, for one night? Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay, other super important vocabulary for staying at a hotel, Airbnb, wherever you're staying. El Wi-Fi. El Wi-Fi, or sometimes as jokes they say, el Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. La contraseña del Wi-Fi. La contraseña del Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi password. This is a super key question. When you want to ask for it, say ¿cuál, which? ¿Cuál es la contraseña del Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi password? Muy bien. And la cama. La cama. Bed. El baño. Restroom. So, in Mexico and in some other countries, when you're out in public, you won't really see baño. You'll see it sometimes, but more often than not, you'll see WC, wash closet. That is what's going to be on the sign for where the restroom is. Muy bien. And lastly, la ducha. La ducha is your shower. Muy bien. La ducha. Okay, key phrases. These are things that you'll need wherever you're going. For example, disculpe. Disculpe. It means excuse me to ask a question. Disculpe, ¿me puedes ayudar? It's very, very polite. Or to get someone's attention if you're in a crowded restaurant and you need the waiter's attention. Disculpe. And there you go. Muy bien. Permiso. Permiso also means excuse me. But this is different because instead of grabbing someone's attention, you need their permission to pass by. Permiso. Muy bien. So, really quick, pause here. Make up a little scenario. Where could you use permiso and where could you use disculpe? Muy bien. Okay, your key phrase is que tengas buen día. Que tengas buen día. I hope you have a nice day. This is when you're speaking directly to one person in tú. If it's someone that you need to have respect for, you would take off the S. Que tenga buen día. Also, if you need to have it for plural, they, or y'all, que tengan. This is tener, but in the subjunctive. Subjunctive, you'll learn later down the line, but all you need to do is keep this G in there, and you're just wishing them a very nice day. Muy bien. Buenas tardes. Tengo una reservación. Where could you use this phrase? We talked about C-I-O-N. In English is T-I-O-N. So, buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Tengo una reservación. I have a reservation. Muy bien. So, if you said you could use it at a hotel, you're doing great. Or even a car rental. Muy bien. Okay. Necesito más toallas, por favor. Where could we use this? ¿Dónde podemos usar esta frase? I need more towels, please. Toallas, towels. Hotel, beach. Muy bien. Perdón, ¿pueden repetirlo más despacio? Excuse me, could you repeat that slowly? Or more slowly? Muy bien. Okay, I am traveling today. So go ahead and translate that for me. I am, which would be ser o estar. Estar. Remember, they're moving to a different place. Physically moving, so that's going to go into action or location. So, I am traveling today. Estoy viajando hoy. Estoy viajando hoy. I am traveling today. Muy bien. ¿Dónde está la casa de cambio? Remember, get what you can. If it's vocabulary you're not sure about, we're about to look at it. ¿Dónde está la casa de cambio? ¿Dónde está? Where is? So, where is the currency exchange? The place where you're going to go and change your dollars into whatever the local money is. Then you have cajero automático, an ATM. Cajero automático. Muy bien. ¿Dónde está el baño? This one will come in handy, guys. Where's the bathroom? Muy bien. Okay. ¿Cuánto cuesta el boleto? Remember way back to our questions when we learned our preguntas. ¿Cuánto cuesta is how much does it cost? Today we learned el boleto is the ticket. ¿Cuánto cuesta el boleto? How much does the ticket cost? Muy bien. ¿A qué hora sale el bus? Okay, sale, salir, to leave. ¿A qué hora? What time? At what time does the bus leave? Muy bien. ¿Dónde está el hotel? The X is where you could put in the name of your hotel. El Río. But remember, if you do this, you need to switch it. El Hotel Río. El Hotel, whatever the name is. Muy bien. Where is the X hotel? ¿Dónde está el Terminal 1? ¿Dónde está? Where? Where is? El terminal. Terminal 1. Where is Terminal 1? ¿Cómo llego aquí? So this is great because remember, you don't have to know vocabulary for everything. We communicate with so much more than just our words. So use props, use charades. So if you have a map, you can say, ¿Cómo llego aquí? How do I get here? Point to a place on a map. Or if you have it written down or a picture, just do whatever you can to communicate. It will work. Have fun. And remember, it's never a closed book test. You can always use your resources, a phone, a dictionary, a little, you can make a little card to carry in your pocket that has your key phrases in there, things you think you'll need. Muy bien. And permiso, necesito bajar del bus. Excuse me, I need to exit the bus. Bajar means to get down or to go down, but that's what we'll use, the verb we'll use for subir al bus, get on the bus, or bajar del bus, get off the bus. Muy bien. ¿Me puede llevar al aeropuerto, por favor? Could you take me to the airport, please? In a group, nos puede llevar. Nos, for nosotros, think about your verb gustar. Nos puede llevar. Muy bien. Okay, emergency phrases. When traveling internationally, it is important to know the local emergency number. Please look these up and take note of them before traveling. Remember, 911 is not always used in every country. It can be helpful to make a pocket reminder of emergency numbers or phrases to take on your trip. This could be something on your phone or a physical copy to keep on your person. Because remember, phones can be lost, stolen, or their battery can die. Sometimes having a physical copy is the best way to go. Muy bien. Okay. Ayuda. Ayuda. Help me. Then you can pair it with other words. Necesito ayuda. Necesitar, to need. Necesito, I need. I need help. ¿Me puede ayudar? Can you help me? Then, ¿me puede ayudar a encontrar mi hotel? Find my hotel. ¿Me puede ayudar a llamar un taxi? Call a taxi. Muy bien. Okay, this one also means help, but it implies a more urgent need, like someone's bleeding or something bad is happening. And it's pronounced auxilio, auxilio, auxilio. Muy bien. Remember, this is when you're really in trouble. Okay. Now you translate. Disculpe, ¿habla inglés? Excuse me, do you speak English? Muy bien. Okay, these are words to listen for. If you hear these, you need to pay attention. Peligro, peligro, danger. Es peligroso, it's dangerous. Cuidado, be careful. Tormenta, storm. Terremoto, earthquake. These are words that you need to be aware of while you're traveling. Will you hear them? Most likely not. But it's better to know them and not need them than not know them and need them. Muy bien. Okay. Estoy perdido. Or female, perdida. Estoy perdida. I am lost. ¿Dónde está el hospital? ¿Dónde está el hospital? Where's the hospital? Muy bien. Ok. ¿Dónde está la farmacia? ¿Dónde está la farmacia? Where's the pharmacy? Good job. Necesito medicina para mi estómago. Estómago. Stomach. I need medicine for my stomach. Muy bien. Soy alérgico o alérgica a los nueces. I'm allergic to nuts. So it's always good to know how to tell someone that you're allergic to something or that you need something changed. For example, you may need something sin gluten. Sin gluten. Sin without, S-I-N, like sin. Sin gluten. Or tengo alergias o tengo alergia a la leche. O soy intolerante. Intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant. Or soy, which is soya. Muy bien. Okay, talking about pain. So, me duele, I am hurting. These are going to follow the same beginnings as the verb gustar. Me duele, I hurt. Te duele, you are hurting. Le duele, he, she is hurting. Nos duele, we are hurting. Or les duelen, they are hurting. Or les duele, or duelen. So if what's hurting is plural, like their feet, you'll need to put the in. Same with all of these. If it's your hand, one singular thing, it's duele, just like with the verb gustar. Or it's going to be the plural, duelen. Nos duelen el estómago. Our stomachs hurt. Okay? Muy bien. Thinking about pain, here are your possessive words. Mi, my, tú, your. This is without an accent. If you put the accent, it's you. Su, his or her. Nuestro or nuestra, our. Sus, their. Muy bien. Okay, really quick, let's look at some of the body parts. Head, cabeza, la cabeza. Go ahead and move with me. La cabeza. Throat, la garganta, la garganta. Stomach, el estómago. Leg, la pierna. Foot, el pie. Yes, it looks like pie. Just think about it. Your foot kind of does too, like an upside down piece of pie. Eyes, ojos. El ojo, one. Ojos, both. Arm, el brazo. And hand, la mano. Muy bien. Me duele la mano. My hand hurts. Muy bien. Nuestros estómagos nos duelen. Muy bien. Nuestros estómagos duelen. There is no one right way to say something. Remember that. There are various ways you can say it. So if you translate a little bit differently than I do, most likely you're still fine. So try things and say what sounds right to you. Muy bien. Our stomachs hurt. How could I say his leg hurts? Leg is pierna. Le duele la pierna. Muy bien. Okay, repetition is key. So find someone to practice with. Make the opportunity happen. I want you to take the vocabulary you've learned today and pair it with the verbs you have already learned. With this knowledge, begin making scenarios. Write down your emergency card with phrases and locations that may come in handy if you are found without your phone. And remember, you can say all of these phrases just in your day to day. Let's say you're not feeling well one day at your office, and someone says, "Hey, Joe, what's the matter?" You go, "Oh, me duele la cabeza. Me duele la cabeza." And even if they don't speak Spanish, this motion, we know. "Oh, your head hurts?" "Yeah, me duele la cabeza." So remember, use Spanish at every chance you get. It's great to be able to speak Spanglish, Spanglish. And here is a quick example before we go of what a card could look like that you keep on your person while traveling. Soy Regan Garcia. Estoy en el hotel X. Número telefónico of somebody who could help you. Then key phrases. ¿Dónde está? Where is? ¿Me puede ayudar? Can you help me? Remember, traveling is so much fun. Being able to do it in 2 or more languages is exciting. It turns it into a game. So, wherever you're going and whatever you're doing, work in a little bit of Spanish. You won't regret it. Hasta la próxima. Nos vemos, chicos. Bye.